This is Malika, and she would love to insure her crop, but she cannot. And she is not alone. It's actually half of our world's population. Insane, don't you think? Well, then you are in the right panel, because we can do something about that. Our formal financial system is amazing. Being able to buy my laptop online and insure it is a miracle in itself. But the same system has flaws entrenched in it. These flaws make it super hard for Malika to insure her crop or to seek protection against bad health. What are these flaws and how can we overcome them? Well, I will tell you in my talk today, when we will focus on 5 levers. Together we can repair these flaws. Luckily, I'm with 3 inspiring game changers today. Each one of them can demonstrate how these 5 levers work. These levers apply to insurances too. These system-changing social entrepreneurs developed insurance models reaching millions of people like Malika. Let's start. Firstly, Malika does not need a laptop. She needs a doctor when her daughter has a cough, or a weather insurance when she starts planting her crop. These are the daily needs they have. Delivering insurances should be attached to their daily life. It should be offered at the moment they need it and at the place where they need it. Level 1. Expanding the playground to daily life. How could this look like when applied to insurances? Take, for example, ACRE Africa. They offer agricultural guarantees and microinsurances to millions of farmers. ACRE Africa demonstrates how farmers can protect their crop or their livestock against agricultural risks. ACRE Africa has reorganized the value chain. Firstly and foremost, speaking to the daily needs of low-income family farmers. Well, how then? Let's hear more from George, CEO of ACRE Africa.
The key thing has been one, the commoditization of the product, so that there's less explaining to the smallholder farmers. If you set a complicated product, then it becomes difficult to sell because of the time, and because of the low value, then you can't really afford to spend too much time explaining. Therefore, commoditization was critical. The second learning is around bundling. I think selling it together with, say, seeds and other inputs does help make the pace of delivery to the farmers quick. How did you realize it is pilots, it is testing, it is going to the ground, sitting down with the farmers, talking to them, finding what is important for them. The key learning is that insurance is important. It helps build the resilience of the farmers. They can recover from shocks. Yet it's not a primary purchase in the farming process. Okay, so the farmer will not naturally think about insurance when he's beginning to prepare for the season. But he'll be thinking about seeds, he'll be thinking about fertilizer, he'll be thinking about his labor costs. So for this to work, it's best bundled with a product that's already primary to his activity. That's really the thesis around this. The effort around enabling smallholder farmers to become successful cannot be achieved by a single person. On the value chain, everybody needs to work together. In fact, now at ACRE, we are following a strategy we call integrated risk management, where we're trying to bring partners offering different solutions on the value chain to work together. So you need the seed company on your side for them to bundle insurance, because then if you bundle it, you're able to use the seed bag as one of the identifiers for the insurance product. And obviously then it adds value to the seed that the seed company is selling, so that when they go to the agrovet shop, then there's a greater value that is being offered. But getting partners to work with you is very, very important. There's no magic. It has been hard work by the team for many, many years, testing different ideas, some of them failing badly. And we are slowly starting to come to the point where we are now starting to get sort of the route to market. The thing is that it has to be available to the farmer where they are. Okay, it has to be affordable to them. Cost is a key factor, and remember, even the insurance we're offering is around small values, and it has to have some believability, which is now where we are getting to. Insurance is an intangible service, yet the people most of the time are used to seeing things that they buy. So we are building now believability by getting the farmers to be part of the delivery on on the service. So for example, on one pilot, you're using mobile phones to take photos across the season for the crops that they are growing to enable insurance to work. But these photos are being taken by champion farmers on the ground. So they feel that they are part of the entire process.
Fascinating, isn't it? And what he's not saying, insured in farmers increase their income with 16% and invest 20% more in their farms. That's showcasing the importance of financial inclusion for the low-income farmers. ACRE Africa is an inspiring case of how you extend the playground to their daily lives when we talk about insurances for farmers. So, what is shifting if you go to the streets, the slums, the villages with insurances? Well, first, you shift away from efficiency as a service. You move to delivery with joint forces. Secondly, you shift away from product innovation. You innovate in delivery and distribution. Last but not least, you will see a shift away from authority. You will move more and more to peers. ACRE Africa shows all of those shifts, redesigning service delivery with existing players, just by forging new linkages, with seed suppliers, for example. Just a different way of bundling in the value chain. That is how they were able to do what they are doing today. Which brings me to the second lever, linking all players. New markets can be discovered by just combining forces with existing players in the chain, like ACRE Africa did. Many last-mile infrastructures, they come into being by simply differently tying together the existing players. Let's have a look at another game changer. By joining forces with mobile phone network providers, BIMA offers protection. At their phone, BIMA provides protection against accidents, for health and hospitalization, anticipating high funeral expenditure. From policy all the way to claim, paid by mobile airtime or monthly fees. BIMA is offering insurances to millions of lower income people. Not just insurances, they offer prevention too, just one click away from their couches. They are linking existing players into the playground of financial inclusion. Let's hear from Gustav, founder of BIMA.
What's been absolute key for BIMA's success and our ability to reach scale is that from the beginning we took an approach where we basically said that it's not enough to just have digitalized processes. You can't just reach scale with financial services or insurance products targeting the mass market in emerging markets purely through digital channels. What you also need in order to provide the kind of education and build trust around your product is to have what we talk about as human touch. So what that means is that we are actually across BIMA's footprint employing more than 2,000 sales agents. They are full-time BIMA employees dedicated to sell our products in call centers and out in the field. So that kind of human element, the interaction between customer and agent, that's been critical. But then equally important is on the digital side, we can't have cash collection or paperwork involved. That makes the processes inefficient. So what's also been key to our ability to reach scale is that we have had a mobile approach from the beginning. Customers sign themselves up through the mobile phone, they pay through the mobile phone, and the kind of communication happen through the mobile phone. And that's been able thanks to that we integrate with mobile operators, partnering with them, or other kind of new emerging payment platforms that we see across the markets where we operate. The way we looked at it was that we're going to design a product portfolio that is attractive for our users and makes sense for our users. And we don't care whether even if we started with insurance product, with life insurance and then with health insurance product, we're not going to limit our portfolio to what's kind of legally defined as insurance. We're going to look at what it is that customers want. And what we heard in terms of feedback from customers, they wanted access to doctors, right? And You can either provide access to doctors by saying you have an insurance policy and you're covered if you go see a doctor. Or what we discovered was that a cheaper way of doing it, and a way that is more convenient for the customers, is to say to the customer that you buy an insurance policy from us, but you also get unlimited access to doctors over phone. And then we bundled the two products, and that makes sense for several reasons. So one is, as I said, it's a cheaper way of providing access for customers to doctors. It's also creating an opportunity for us to have a more engaging product portfolio, because, and that's also key for us, we want to drive up engagement. And then what we also believe over time will happen is that thanks to that we provide access to doctors, people can stay healthy and we have less claims as a result of it.
Sounds so easy, isn't it? Well, they have paved the path. Why not join? Through these models of BIMA and ACRE Africa, you can witness the shift from siloed single insurance services to joint integrated delivery, integrated with the fulfillment of daily needs. In case of BIMA, with remote health advisory services. For ACRE Africa, this is offering it in the stores where the family farmers buy their seeds. Also, my third lever is demonstrated beautifully by both BIMA and ACRE Africa. Everybody plays. They serve millions of low-income people who have never bought an insurance in their life. 75% of BIMA's customers buy an insurance for the first time in their life. Everybody Plays has actually two sides to it. Everybody Knocks on the doors of the poor people is actually capacitated to deliver financial services. But also, we knock on all doors. Let's have a look at our third game changer. Uplift Mutuals offers preventive care in combination with a health microinsurance for and by the community members. It all started with women. When women run a health insurance scheme, they will focus on not getting sick in the first place. And that is why insurances is offered in combination with affordable medicines, with preventive services at their doorsteps. The representatives of the community, they run the health scheme themselves. On average, 60% of the premium goes into the risk pool. 30% goes into the value add of preventive care.
You know, in India, every year, 7,000 people fall below the poverty line because of healthcare expenses. And these expenses are surprisingly not on the hospitalization side, they are on the outpatient care and medicine side. So you have 64 to 70% out-of-pocket expense on medicines and outpatient care, whereas 30% on hospitalization. But if you look at the entire product design in insurance, especially in India, you find that there are no such products. That is one problem. Second thing is, there is a huge trust deficit when it comes to insurance. People don't see a value of paying for something that may or may not happen. And we found out that the design itself is such that people don't get value, people don't understand how it's done. There is no transparency in decision making, and it does not help them on their daily needs. It only will help them when they fall ill. And the question was, what happens when I don't fall ill? And I think that was a trigger point for us to understand that, there is a massive design mismatch between what people need and demand and what is available in the market. But we do have a model in place that women run themselves. One of the major things that we found out was people used to not take early treatment. They would wait for getting really ill and then go to a hospital, because otherwise they will lose their livelihood, for the day. So what we realized was that if we put a doctor in the slum, if we put a doctor in the villages, that created a kind of a response that we never ourselves also thought would be, it will go this way. Two things happened. One, it tangibilized the insurance product. What it did was it helped us to reduce the frequency of risk on one hand for the insurance side, and for the members, it created that tangible thing. Oh, I have a doctor, I can talk to. Now, you have to understand, these people don't have a family doctor kind of model. The second thing was this 24/7 helpline, again manned by a doctor. Then we added health screenings, then we added wellness sessions, then we understood that there is a how to pocket expense on medicines, set up a pharmacy which would cater to these members. So creating a whole service line to only service our members. I think our stickability went up, our trust went up, and this was one part of the story. The second part of the story is that the claims are decided within people. So women come together and decide on these claims. And I think that also created a level of ownership which was very difficult otherwise. In traditional insurance, you don't have these things. So in that sense, I think these two things, people-led governance and a primary care model has worked. Otherwise, these premiums are not sustainable at all. So yeah, there is a business model. So we have a platform whereby we design the product, design the process, sit with the community, where we take their validation of all the different parts of the product design, all the different parts of the services, and we run it for them. So they are not bothered by the daily management of this, but they are party to decision making. So whether it is product design, whether it's claims decision making, whether it is looking at what kind of services they require, we give the community the platform over which they can run their own health mutual.
Uplift is challenging us to go back to the roots of insurances, to the community. The community as a group decides about and determines the rules. Uplift Mutuals is incorporating the strong points of a community in its solution to healthy living. When a group plays, it's about staying well, a reason why prevention works. When the group plays, they get decision power and power to control and influence. This is the core to why this solution is affordable and sustainable. Being able to play as a group is the fourth lever. Uplift shows the power that comes from engaging as a group. It accelerates the inclusion because they identify each other, because they capture the needs, they determine the rules that align with their social context, they raise awareness, they educate other group members, even sell, evaluate services and monitor progress. When you empower groups to play, you will see a shift from complying to rules set by an authority to protection by peers. When a community gets the ownership, it results in protection by the same people of that community. Filing false claims is like stealing from your neighbors. It will also provoke a shift away from top-down control towards bottom-up self-organizing. Last-mile infrastructures, like Uplift, more and more rely on self-organizing of the groups they serve. You have seen that back with ACRE Africa too, empowering champions in the villages to monitor insurances. As you can imagine, these game changers ultimately will change the rules of the game, which is the fifth lever. Underlying assumptions are step by step proven not to be true, like poor people cannot afford a health insurance or a replanting insurance, or women cannot handle the phone for financial transactions. What's even more, unusual suspects can be very trustworthy partners in delivering financial services to the poor. And this applies to insurances too. Why don't you tag along? You can make a difference too. As long as you consider daily life as the playground, you link in existing players in the chain, you allow everybody to play, which means you knock on all doors, but also you allow your partners to knock and empower the community to play as a group, ultimately changing the rules of the game.